You've probably seen vehicles such as cars in Second Life. You may be wondering how to create one of your own. It is not very complex to create your own vehicle in Second Life. In this tutorial, I am going to show you how to create a car. We will see the various parts of this. You will see how to build a car, how to set the material types correctly for what a car needs, and you will also see how to attach a simple script that allows you to drive the car around. I will take you through each of these parts in this tutorial. The car that we will create was nothing more than a simple wagon. However, the techniques can be used for a much more complex object than this. The simple wagon handles much like a regular car. It can easily go around a corner and continue on down the road. To create a car in Second Life, there are three main steps that you must follow. First, you need to create the root prim. The root prim is the reference by which the car moves. All changes to X, Y, and Z are contained in this root primitive. The root prim is also where the avatar will sit in the car, so the root prim is going to become the car seat. The second step is you must create the wheels correctly. Anything that comes into contact with the ground is considered the wheels, and it must be made of a special material type or there'll be too much friction for your car to move. Thirdly, you've got to attach a script to the car that allows the avatar to control and move the car. I will take you through each of these steps. We will begin with the root prim. First, we must create the root prim. The root prim for the car is the seat upon which the driver will sit. It is a cube. We are going to create it to be the right size so that it proportions well with the wagon. As you can see, I'm inputting the numbers directly into the X, Y, and Z sizes. We're going to make the seat black. For this, we have a blank texture and a color of black. It's best to have the root prim orientated so that it faces in the same way that the car will move. This is facing straight towards the street that you see there. As you can see, when Incog sits on the seat, he's facing the wrong way. This is fixed by the script that is put inside of the seat. Here you can see I'm creating the script and inserting it. This script is contained on the Heaton Research website. You don't have to type it in. You can simply copy and paste it. Once the script has been attached, Incog will sit on the seat correctly. You'll see this in a moment. Incog now has the vehicle script attached and can move a little bit. You can see some of the car features available, but the seat doesn't move correctly. It encounters too much friction on the ground and tips over. We'll handle this when we add wheels to it. This will be done later in the tutorial. Now Incog is switching the seat so that it is back to a 0 rotation. We'll add the rest of the car around the seat. Next, we're going to create another box. This box is going to be larger than the seat because it's the base of the wagon. Here we're directly setting the X, Y, and Z sizes by inputting the numbers. We're going to put it just below the seat and line up everything just so. Move it forward a little bit. Make it just a little bit bigger so that it overlaps the seat. And finally move it forward. This will become the base of the wagon. We're going to make it blank and a color of red. Move it down a little bit so the seat is exposed. We just use Shift Select. This is a very handy feature. This allowed me to quickly copy the base. I simply held down the Shift and moved it. This created another rectangle that we are now hollowing out, and this is the sides of the wagon. Resize it a little bit so that it fits properly. Now we're going to link everything together. This is how you define what the root prim is. Notice how the seat was selected last. And notice how it now has a yellow rectangle when we select it. This tells us what the root prim is. Whatever is selected in yellow is the root prim. The seat is the root prim. This is how we want it. Now we're going to create the wheels. These are cylinders. That cylinder needs to be rotated. It's not quite the right orientation for a wheel. That's better. We're going to give it a blank texture and turn it black. This is the first wheel. However, the texture still needs to be set. Next, we must set the material type to glass. The material type is set near the bottom of the object window. Once we've done this, we can create all four wheels. We do this by shift selecting and moving. This allows us to quickly create all four wheels based on that first wheel that we created. The material type of glass allows the wheels to not generate too much friction. It may seem weird having glass wheels, but this is how it's done in Second Life. Think of the material as only defining the amount of friction that is going to be encountered. Rubber, which is what you might think of for a wheel, would create way too much friction. Now all four wheels have been created, and it's time to link these wheels to the vehicle. Currently, these wheels are separate objects that just happen to be near the vehicle. We're selecting each of the wheels and then the vehicle. This allows us to add them to the vehicle without changing what the root prim is. We don't want to change the root prim to the wheels because the root prim is defined as the last object selected. It is important that you always select what you are adding to the car and then add it to the car. This adds the wheels without changing the root prim. Next, we'll add two sound effects to the car. To do this, the sound effects must be moved into the contents folder for the root prim. This is the same folder that holds the script. Car start and car run are added. One sound is for when the car starts, the other for when it runs. We also renamed the script so that it has a meaningful name. Once these have been added, the script can play these sounds when needed. The car is now ready for driving. Let's move it up so that the wheels are not stuck in the mud. And Incog is ready to drive his new car. Simply sit here and Incog will be driving the car. Incog is now seated in the wagon and ready to move forward. You can see Incog is now driving the car down the road and taking the car for its maiden drive. However, be careful. A car is meant to be used on the road. It does not work so well in the water. For other examples on how to create other common objects in the Second Life world, you may find my book, Scripting Recipes for Second Life, to be useful. You can buy it from Amazon.com and many other online booksellers. If you would like an introduction to the Linden scripting language from the very beginning, my book, Introduction to Linden Scripting Language, may also be useful to you.